Hello, kiddies. It's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. You're listening to Drop the Mic.
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that. And the one next to that. A young couple live in it.
Give Ken a kiss.
You are so obnoxious.
With their 3 children.
Poor Ken. Trying to chew each bite 10 times.
And something more.
They're here.
Sweetie, remember last night? Do you remember when you woke up and you said you were here?
Uh-huh.
Well, who did you mean? Who's here?
TV people.
Something's funny going on here next door. Something,
We were wondering if maybe you had experienced any disturbances lately.
What kind of disturbances?
I don't know what hovers over this house. I've never sensed anything like it.
That thing is in there with my baby!
They're hundreds.
Now Steven Spielberg crosses a frightening new threshold into a world within our own. Its form is revealed.
What is it?
Its focus is clear. And the games are over. Poltergeist. It knows what scares you.
Welcome to our humble San Diego podcast. This is Drop the Mic, and I am your host, The Swan, and alongside me, we welcome back our local projectionist, Mr. Chris Pawlak. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. This is the first time we're doing the show in person together for, almost 2 years.
Yes.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, right?
Yeah,
A little
I mean, we probably could have done it maybe a few months earlier, but scheduling just wasn't working out. And I told you I wanted to do the Halloween episode face-to-face, and almost. We had a couple of close calls where it looked like the schedule might not work out for us to be able to do it, but it did today, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, especially for this movie, too.
Yeah.
It's fitting. So this is our annual Halloween episode. This year we are going to break down the original Poltergeist film with episode 242, They're Here. Yeah.
I never thought of the title. That's a good one, man.
So, let's warm up a little bit, shall we?
Yes.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
For pop culture news, I know we just did our bonus episode for Halloween Resurrection, which should be already out by the time you guys are listening to this, but do you have anything as far as pop culture news goes?
I know that you covered one of the stories that I was going to mention. Also, I don't really want to talk too much on it because I haven't read extensively on it, but the on-set accident that happened last week with the movie Rust.
Yes.
That was being filmed, where a prop gun fired and ended up killing the cinematographer by accident. So, super tragic. I don't want to talk too much on it because, like I said, I didn't have like all the details, but it sounded like there were some issues before and some on-set safety issues on the film already. and the prop master had some issues, or an assistant to the prop master had some issues before, and then something super tragic like this happens, and a young woman lost her life, and that's so unfortunate. And I can't imagine what Alec Baldwin must be feeling, having been the guy that had the gun in his hand when that happened. So it's...
I believe the director was injured too.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what shot they were setting up, or if that was something where the gun was supposed to be fired at the camera. But it goes to show you that even now, how many, almost 30 years removed from The Crow, it's still dangerous. You need to really double check everything and pay attention, and have double and triple safety precautions on a film set. So that was the big story of the last week, I think, in between your episodes
that we had missed. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I didn't read through the news this morning or check anything out.
Yeah, there was nothing that I came across that we haven't already talked about. With that being said, let's jump into recommendations then.
All right.
What do you got for me?
I actually have 3, something of a rarity, but I do want to single out and praise one of my favorite movies that I rewatched the other night, On the Waterfront.
Okay.
With Marlon Brando, Eva Marie Saint. If any of the listeners are unfamiliar with the film, I think they probably know its most famous scene through pop culture, and that's the Brando scene where he talks about being a contender.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about a guy who is part of something on the docks, and it's the mob kind of rule the docks, and his actions in the beginning of the film unfortunately lead to someone being killed, and so the rest of the movie is kind of his conscience telling him to do the right thing or continue to be part of the issue where everyone keeps their mouth shut. And it's a movie that I didn't see until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I love it. I've watched it multiple times since. Brando is phenomenal in the movie, and then it's got a ton of other great performances. Like I said, Eva Marie Saint is fantastic as the sister to the murdered guy from the beginning. It's got an awesome score by Leonard Bernstein. It's very Aaron Copland-esque. And just a really, really good movie. I think it's from 1959? I could be wrong on the date. I'm sorry, I'm kind of blanking on the date. But, fantastic film. I think it's like one of the big Oscar winners of all time. It won like 8 or 9 Oscars. Brando included, picture, writing, hopefully the score, directing. So, rewatched that the other night. Love the film. Definitely check it out. Don't be dissuaded by the fact that it's an older film and then it's in black and white. It's so fucking good. Watch that movie. And then the other 2 I have are seasonal. I want to shout out The Omen that I just watched again for a few weeks ago. From a director whose work we have on an upcoming episode in the next few months, so watch out for that. And just about the Spawn of Satan.
Yeah, The Omen is so great, and it's kind of relevant in a way to the film that we're going to be talking about today, as far as curses go, I guess you would say.
Really, Gregory Peck is awesome in it. It's like really, not so much as I would say scary, but very moody. Very good at kind of setting up the tension in the film. And has some really great sequences in it. Some really great deaths in it. and like I said, has that kind of that curse supposedly to the film. And skip the remake because it's dog shit.
I was just gonna ask you about it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's got a good cast.
Yeah.
And they do recreate kind of shot for shot a couple of the real famous sequences. But skip it. Watch the original from 76 with Gregory Peck. It rules. And the other one I have that's seasonal, but not for the reasons you would think, is you ever watched the 30 for 30 docs for ESPN?
Yes.
This being the fall, being World Series season, we're in the middle of the World Series now. I don't know who's playing. I don't give a shit. But there was a 30 for 30 on ESPN maybe a month ago called Once Upon a Time in Queens. It's a 4-parter about the 1986 New York Mets, which was that World Series between the Mets and the Red Sox was the first World Series I ever watched as a kid.
Okay.
So I have a lot of attachment to that, and I was a big Mets fan back in the day, probably because of that. But watch the 30 for 30 if you can find it on ESPN, or I think if you have like the Disney Plus bundle, I think has ESPN on it. It might be available on that. Watch that. The 86 Mets, they were a wild bunch, and there was a lot of really good kind of behind the scenes drama circulating with that team, and a lot of outsized personalities on that team, and they kind of had this almost Cinderella season, and really, really compelling, really fun watch, and just, like I said, the personalities, the multiple personalities on that team are a blast to watch and hear them talk about their memories of that season.
Very nice.
And I'll stop talking about my recommendations now. 3 is more than enough.
Honestly, I haven't watched. I've been watching like the same stuff, so I'll just throw out History of Horror again because it's on. I think episode 6 was just released.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to watch them early because I have the app or whatever. But really good season so far. Yeah,
I don't think the episode 6. I don't think it airs on actual AMC until maybe next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Because I have it set up recording onto the DVR right now, and then I'll watch it when it wraps up. But they never seem to be able to wrap up until after Halloween. I don't know why they don't coincide to have like the last episode air on Halloween or around Halloween.
Do you think they do that on purpose?
Probably. I don't know why they can't figure out the scheduling to just start it like a week or two earlier.
This last one was rad. It was like horror based around holidays, like Black Christmas and like
Black Christmas is a good movie. That's on the schedule possibly for a future Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Not the 2 shitty remakes.
Yeah.
The last remake was really bad.
It's just like, what? You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. I think I texted you after I watched it like last year, like around the holidays, because it was on HBO or something. I was like, what the fuck is this remake?
Yeah, I don't know what they were. I knew it was gonna be bad when it was released that it was PG-13.
Yeah.
Like, why?
But the original from, what was it, 74?
I believe so, yeah.
With Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder is great. I like it a lot.
But yeah, they talk about all the like horror concepts that are based around holidays. It's pretty interesting. I dig it.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
Alright, so moving on to our main focus, which is the original Poltergeist. It's rated PG somehow. From 1982. It's considered a horror thriller. It runs at 1 hour and 56 minutes, and it's got a well-deserved 86 on Rotten. Directed by Toby Hooper? ?
We'll see about that.
Starring Heather O'Rourke, Dominique Dune, Craig T. Nelson, Joe Beth Williams, Zelda